The following presentation has been prepared by Group 8. Team members are Keaton Chiara, Allison Eisenzimmer, Griselle Esquivel, and Brittany Gordon. Thank you for attending this presentation that was prepared exclusively for BXC Capital. We are a group of investing analysts who spent the last several weeks researching and examining Apple Inc. We have based this presentation on the information we gathered concerning Apple's financial and operational successes. We considered Apple's competitors, we closely examined their environmental impact and sustainability pledges, and we examined their management of their production and supply chain. We compiled all this information to use as a basis for our decision. We recommend that BXC Capital increase their holdings of Apple Inc. stock. We are confident that following our presentation, you will wholeheartedly agree with our recommendation.
Apple was founded by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne in 1976, specializing in designing and manufacturing desktop computers. Launched in 1984, the first model of their Macintosh line was designed to serve as a personal computer to all consumers, even those with no technical skill. Though it initially showed a great financial potential, within a few months sales declined. Through the next decade, imitators began to write their own desktop publishing and spreadsheet processing softwares. Due to the increase in competition, Apple struggled financially, which led to a 20% drop in Apple's stock price. Nevertheless, the added financial pressure forced Apple to innovate once again, and in 1998, Apple launched a brand new model, the iMac, that sold nearly 1 million units within the first 5 months of its release. Propelled by the success of the iMac and iBook, Apple released the iPod digital music player coupled with its new music downloading service, iTunes. By 2006, Apple's stock price had grown dramatically to over $80 per share. The best was yet to come. In 2007, Apple launched its first smartphone, the iPhone. Since its original launch, Apple has launched 13 models and launched App Store, an application services site. An immediate success, the iPhone is one of the largest smartphone platforms in the world. Apple purports that they have sold over 1 billion iPhones worldwide, and currently Apple's stock price trades at about $143 per share. The coronavirus COVID-19 outbreak of 2020 was a devastating disruption to many people's lives worldwide. Every business was impacted and forced to shift the ways they operated to ensure continuity of service. In some countries, government restrictions prohibited travel and in-person business operations. Several governments issued shelter-in-place orders, causing many offices and non-essential businesses to close. At Apple, the effect was twofold, as the demand for computers and smartphones erupted, with many employers purchasing new equipment for their employees to use in their home offices. Apple's challenge was to meet this demand with most of its employees and administrators working from home. Electronics were not the only items to see a surge in demand. Worldwide, companies struggled to keep up with consumers to keep products in stock. Due to its responsive supply chain, Apple effectively navigated worldwide freight delays and electrical component shortages to keep producing products worldwide.
A significant component in the continued success of Apple is its supply chain. When Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1996, its future was uncertain. The return of Steve Jobs saw the introduction of several new products for Apple that propelled the company into the future, and with that came the need for a supply chain that could deliver. In 2004, Apple sought to gain control over its supply chain. They decided to provide upfront capital in exchange for volume commitments from manufacturers for an overall lower price per unit. If Apple had complete control over its supply chain, it could meet product demands. Apple researches and develops products in the United States, while its suppliers and assembly operations are located in China. Apple closely monitors its supply chain. The designers work closely with suppliers, often traveling to be close to production facilities so they can maintain a close watch. This way, they can handle any issues immediately that may arise. Apple needs to maintain the integrity of its supply chain to keep things running smoothly and ensure the product is readily available for customers and remain competitive. Apple is working to make the manufacturing process more sustainable. Low carbon, energy efficient designs will reduce energy in the manufacturing process, and they want to increase the use of recycled materials. The future success of Apple's supply chain will rely heavily on them being able to move with current trends of being more sustainable.
I'm going to talk about some quantitative data for Apple. First of all, they rank third on the Fortune 500 list behind Walmart and Amazon. Apple ranks second in the mobile phone industry behind Samsung. Apple has sold over 1.5 billion iPhones since coming out in 2007. In 2020, they sold over 90 million iPhones in their fourth quarter alone. Apple made profits of over $57 billion last year, and the graph on the right side of the slideshow shows Apple's increase in revenue since their first product came out in 1977. It can be seen that the iPhone was a huge success for them, causing their revenue to skyrocket since its release in 2007. Apple has good corporate social responsibility, and one thing they pride themselves on is sustainability. They have been able to reduce their carbon footprint by 34%, they have decreased single-use plastic in their packaging by 75%, and nearly 20% of all materials used in production is recycled. The last thing I'm going to talk about is another aspect of Apple's good corporate social responsibility, which is giving back to the community. Apple does many things to give back to the community, but one of their most notable things is the amount of money they give to charities around the world. They have raised over $725 million for charity worldwide. There's tons of quantitative data relating to Apple, but these are just a few of the most important things to know about the company. Thank you.
Sustainability at Apple Inc. In 2020, more than 110 suppliers have committed to building Apple products with 100% renewable energy. Apple now has 13 supplier sites that have Alliance for Water Stewardship certification. Since 2013, over 41 billion gallons of fresh water has been saved at Apple. Since 2015, over 1 million metric tons of waste has been diverted from landfills. In 2020 alone, there was 400,000 metric tons of waste diverted from landfills, and over 900,000 metric tons of carbon equivalent has been avoided in Apple's supply chain from energy efficiency efforts. Something that LG Electronics has implemented into their supply chain is a green partnership called Green Program Plus. This program is designed to help LG suppliers improve their environmental performance. Essentially, it is a program to teach the workers at their supplier sites to understand and properly handle hazardous substances, to make the site as green as possible. Recently, they have expanded to include training on greenhouse gas emissions as well. This program is designed to promote sustainability and to keep a competitive edge. Samsung maintains its competitive edge by showcasing how their materials are sourced ethically and responsibly. They work with eco-partner certified suppliers so that they are able to make certain that their products are coming from eco-friendly materials. To summarize, Apple has successfully navigated through the COVID-19 pandemic. Apple is leveraging in its supply chain by limiting the volume and lowering pricing per unit. Apple is committed to sustainability. Long-term goal is to have zero net carbon impact by 2030. Apple is growing in sales and profit, and Apple is delivering in product innovation. Finally, Apple is committed to the global community by raising money for over 39,000 worldwide organizations.
It is our recommendation that BXE Capital increase their holdings of Apple Inc. stock. On behalf of myself and my fellow teammates, I'd like to thank you for listening to our presentation today and considering our recommendation.